Alright. Section 3, Air Conditioning, Refrigeration, Part 3, Water and Ice, Recommendation Practice for the Inspection and Maintenance of Water, Air Conditioning Equipment. The attention to be given with the completion of each trip of the weekly and additionally regular inspection of the car lighting equipment, battery condition of the battery should be determined in the grounds. The check of the equipment and wiring of the grounds for the test lamp. They have not been more than 6 watt rating, the nominal rated voltage equipment, the control cleaning, air conditioning control panels, the base belonging to compressed air with the vacuum cleaner, clean, check all thermostats for proper operation of the valve, including the outside thermometers we use. For the blower fan, check operational blower fan. Inspect the blower fan, motor brush, the communicator. Observe the condition of the pulleys and belts and tensions. If the belt-driven fan lubricate is required. Air filters. Inspect all air filters. It is necessary. Check the condition of the filters. Air pressure. The air brush controls the air if required and so equipped. If balance of bath fuels are used, they should maintain the proper condition of airflow. Determine the airflow is properly indicated with the show the indicator lights for the proper operation. Make the repairs where they found necessary. Pump motor. Check the operation of the pump and the motor. Inspect the pump motor brushes the communicator, trip the pump packing, the lubricated pumper that is required. Water flow, remove the drainage plug over the drain valve, the drain bunker, the sump, and the flush out of it. Thoroughly clean the water strainer, check of the water sprays and pipe where used, where the water strainer, check the flow of the water with the ice bunker, see if the water is at the proper level, the item is not airbound. Alright, see that only clean ice is used in the bunker. After ice is recommended due to the absence of foreign matter. Bypass the valve, check by the bivalve. If used, seal and gasket, check the ice bunker door, seal and gasket, making repairs if required. B1. Attention to be given with the car's monthly intervals with addition trip inspection. Ice bunkers and sump. Check the sump tank of the float where you use up the sump tank vents. Inspect the air bunker, the door hinges and latches, the lubricated with the check system with the water leaks. Apply anti-allergy solution to keep the system clean. C1. Attention given to the car's yearly and seasonal inspection with the addition of the monthly inspection. Cold water pump. Check safety bearings, war, air seal ring clearance should be within prescribed limits. Repack lubricated. Approve the packing lubrication. Renew brushes. Inspect the brush boxes. Clean brushes. Spring tensions. Pump boxes should be thoroughly cleaned and painted. Applies insulation. Testing of the pump motor. Insulation valve should not be less than 1 omega ohm. Insulation should be withstand at least 220 volts at 60 cycles of AC for 1 minute of the approved testing device. When the pump is reassembled, the capacity should be made. The ice bunkers of the piping, flushing out the bunkers of the piping system, piping the system coils and sump tanks using the suitable cleaning solution. Remove thoroughly clean with the strainer spray pipe. Remove the inspection float valve if used to check the further travel to maintain the water level. The ice bunkers should be thoroughly gone over any defective piping, vent overflow tap. The door hinges, the door fasteners should be repainted and renewed. Door seals around the bunkers should be closely inspected, determining if they're in any condition to permit another year's service. If not, they should be renewed. Fill the system with water. Run 15 minutes. Check all the pipes, valves, and the filling of the leaks. If should be repeated with the responsibility certain that the system has been thoroughly filled, but the circulation has not been affected by the system and not airbound. The strain should be inspected, repaired, and if necessary, a new gasket applied. Loose insulation on the pipe. The compartment should be repaired. Part 4, direct mechanical. Air conditioner, refrigeration, direct mechanical. Recommendation, practice, and inspection maintenance of the direct mechanical air conditioning equipment. A1, the attention for the given to the car is the completion of each trip of the weekly in addition with the regular inspection of the car lighting equipment. Battery, the condition of the battery should be determined. The ground should check the equipment. The wire grounds for the test lamp have not more than 6 watt rating of the nominal rated voltage. Equipment belts, inspect the belts to be sure that all the condition have equal proper tension. When the belt replacements are necessary, only complete the matched sets where they should be used. Condenser coil. Condenser coil compress the box with compressed air with with water. Under care of the air conditioning equipment makes visual inspection all under the air conditioning equipment for defects including speed control brushes, collector rings, confirm the suspicion-free on leaks with approved leak detector. Check the cracks and other defects of the driving out the suspension guide with the plates with the part to ensure the safe operation. Check the driven unit gear case oil level and additional oil when necessary. Inspect the drive suspension parts, the drive shaft pulleys and parts, lubrication when required. Standby power operation. Place the car on standby power operation. Equipment stay cooling specification for proper phase rotation. 7. Condenser. Drain flush oil sump the evaporator, the subcooler full fluid, flooded condenser. If equipped with the automatic water filling device, either the operation pressure temperature switch. C. The control relay flow. Operate properly. Inspect the pump for leaks. Examine the spray nozzle, condenser, coil, oil, and clean. And require if the inspector from the brushware, the condition communicator. If the water filling the device is non-automatic, refill the capacity of the cleaning water. If equipped with the intake air filter and clean during the freeze water, disconnect the sump motor and interrupt the circuit. drain water from the sump and fasten the water filler cover to prevent accidental filling. 8. The blower fan. Check the operation of the blower fan and inspect the blower fan motor with the air brushes and communicator. Observe the condition of the pulley's belt and tension if the belt is driven and lubricated as required. 9. Controls. Clean the air conditioner panel, blowing compressed air with the vacuum cleaner. Check all thermostats for proper operation valve, including outside thermostat when used for 10. A refrigeration expansion valve. Inspect solenoid refrigeration expansion. Other valves operation freon leaks at the same time. Make visual inspection of all piping valve, the air conditioner compartment of the freon lines. Air filter. Inspect all air filters, surfaces necessary for the condition filter. Also press the air shutter with control if so equipped or is equipped. If balancing baffles are used, they should be maintained in proper condition. 12. Airflow. Determine the airflow is proper. Indication lights show that the indicator light of the proper operation. Make the repairs when necessary. Necessary. Check the bearings and heating noise when necessary. Corrective action should be taken. 15. Check the lubricating compressor at the rest. After it has been 20 to 30 minutes, oil used to bring up the required level must be approved type. Check the lubrication direction fan of the drive when observe the cooling when it is necessary to be used. The cooling tool as terminals running the cooling system that want to carry must be taken to remove the jumper when testing completed. Note the operation compressor motor for the unusual vibration and noise. Check the from and on level after system has been operated with 15 minutes of correct as level as required. 20. Take the speed control reading, voltage drop, caterpillar contacts to correct. The reading of it should be 8 to 10 amperes. The volt drop should not be more than 2 volts for 32 volt equipment and not more than 4 volts for 64 volt equipment. Correction should be made as required. B1. Attention to be given as monthly intervals in addition with the trip inspection. Lubricating bearings required. Lubricate all belts aligning the screws and other threaded parts of the frequently used. Wash them and all dirt accumulated with the compressor, then condenser the inside of the compressor box. When excessive oil and dirt is evident, the parts should be washed with a mildew solution of trisodium phosphate equivalent. Inspect your condenser closely to see all that the air passages are open and free of dirt. C1. Attention given to the car's yearly and seasonal inspection in addition with the monthly inspection. Thoroughly clean all the condenser surfaces. Remove overhaul belt-driven type of the drive units. Change oil in all the gear type of the truck drives. Remove an overall speed control. Remove the AC standby motor and if necessary for inspection, cleaning, and the repairs. Lubricate the bearings with improved lubricant. Check the AC starter power receptacles. Overhaul necessary. Apply insulation. Test for the AC motor. Wiring installation must not be less than 1 mega ohm withstanding 660 cycles of AC. 1 minute approved testing device and applying test for DC motors on control wiring insulation should not be less than 1 mega ohms withstanding 220 volts to 60 cycles. AC with 1 minute approved test device making correction is required. Move the check proper shaft where proper remove and check the proper shafts for wear. Replace the lubrication seal. Check operation high and low pressure switch against master gauge to determine if they were open and closed required pressure for the particular type of the switch. Readjust where necessary. Gauges carried with equipment should be checked against master gauge replacing as necessary. Alright, Part 5, Steam Injector. Recommendation practice for the inspector of maintenance of the steam injector air conditioner equipment. A1, the attention given to the completion of the each throughout the weekly in addition with regular inspection of car lighting equipment. The battery condition of the battery should be determined to check the equipment. The wiring grounds for the test lamp have not been more than 6 watt rating nominal voltage of equipment. Operation of equipment test unit under steam where steam is required. Pressure is available. If not available, make all testing possible without and make a visual inspection of all controls, fusions, and fuels clip. Association of sufficient makeup of the water available. Assertion there is sufficient team ejector pressure to operate the unit. Observe the operation of the bucket trap and note that it is regular. Motor operational steam valve. Test operation motor with operated steam valve. 5. The sump strainer. Clean the flush steam sump. Clean the sub strainer with the ordinary frame. Outlet and air dampers. Inspect the air dampers of the Type A unit. These dampers must be worked freely and should stand by the wide opener and condenser pump running. Vibration and leakage. When equipment is running, inspect the pumps or fans. Excessive vibrational leakage is the pump packing. Slightly leak and condenser pump and packing is desirable. Condenser. Flush out the condenser tubes with the water under the pressure side of the condenser casing should be removed for the cleaning. The paragraph supplied with the underframe of the units and benign refrigerator unit. Check the refrigerator unit inlet screen. All filters clearly and necessary. Check the operation condenser spray header with the cleaning necessary. 10. Blower fan. Check operation of blower fan motor. Inspect blower fan motor brushes communicator. Observe the condition of the pulley belt and tension if the belt is driven and lubricated as required. 11. Controls. Air conditioning control bars and panels belong in the compressed air with the vacuum cleaner. Check all the thermostats for proper operation valve with the gauss outside the thermostat when used. Air filters. Inspect all the air filter surfaces as required. Check the condition of the filter seal with the fresh air utters controls and so if equipped. If imbalancing baffles are used, they should be maintained with proper condition. Airflow. Determine the airflow is properly indicated flows. Check all the indicated lights for the proper operation. Make the repairs where the found necessary. B1. Attention to the given curves and the monthly intervals from the addition, triple inspection. The air pressure switches. Inspect the contact of all pressure switches. Clean as necessary. Motor. Check all the motors. Removing the inspection. Cover the examination of the communicated brush. Replace the brushes worn to the condemnation lane. Tension and lubrication sleeve with the tie bearings. Blow carbon dust and dirt with all motors under frame of the units. Seal line. Check all the seal line. Ensure the flow of the clean water to the cold water pump shaft seal. Condenser. Clean outside of the condenser tube. Thoroughly clean the condenser spray header. Motor spray steam lubricator. Inspect the type of the height of the lubrication gearbox. Automatically steam valve. Vacuum check the system. The vacuum system should be vacuum tight. Liquid should not exceed 1 inch per hour. Vacuum pull down, but the test should be made releasing the vacuum to zero pressure. Then start the equipment observed. The time recorded to be obtained. The 25 inches of the vacuum that should be greater than 20 minutes. And the time exceeding will indicate the defective purge nozzle or dirty. Defective condenser pump the system of the vacuum leak greater than the maximum level. To locate such leaks, the pressure level testing system using 40 pounds of air per water and water alone recommended should be used. Condenser pump. Check the condenser. Check the condenser pump. The check condenser pump pressure, which should be not less than 27 pounds. Taking the inlet of the side of the purge of 30 volts with the condenser pump motor terminals. Cold water pump. To check cold water pump pressure with the release in the vacuum to zero pressure should not be less than 11 pounds. The delivery line of the pump with 30 volts with the cold water pump terminals. Relay thermostat. Check the test operation with all the relay thermostats causing them to start and stop cooling. And equipment is required. 10. Condenser sub-feed the valve. The checking the condenser sub-feed for the proper operation repair where necessary. C1. Attention given to the car's yearly and seasonal inspection for the addition of the 30-day inspection. The condenser cold water pump motors. The room with the pumps and motors from the car and assembly. Check the clearance of the pump, impeller, seal, the ring of the condenser pump. This clearance must not be over the 15,000 inch overhead equipment or 25,000 on the underframe of the equipment. The clearance of the figure given the actual clearance between the inner and outer seal rings, not in the difference of the diameter between the inner and outer seal rings. Remove packing, examining the shelf bushings which should be renewed when worn with the rear type of the packaging should be removed. The cleaning the grease gland of the water seal gland or used in a rotator seal. The type of the packing renewal of the complete seal with the seal. Have bushing is applied with check the pump shaft. It's certain when the pump has been sprung. Clean the impeller vanes thoroughly. Examine the pump body for the corrosion. Check the seal of the rings for the necessary. B. Renew the motor brushes. Might close the inspection of the brush boxes. Brush springs. Close the spring tension, which should be less. It should be 1.1 pound per brush. Make the installation test in the armature field coils of the installation valve. Value of the ground should not be less than 1 mega ohm. Inspect the throttle resistors and renew them when necessary. G. Renew the shaft bearings hand packed with above grease. Renew the felt washer for the motor bearings. Make sure the closed inspection of the motor handhold covers replace the damaged replace lining. If the covers are conditioned, otherwise after pumping has been assembled, it should be passed the approved test. 2. The motor operated steam valve. Remove the motor operated steam valve. Renew the packing, checking the stem diameter from the excessive wear. Wash the gear case. The gears of the proof with the solvent. Wear the reassembled the renew lubricant in the gear case of the proof with the grade oil. Wash bearings, ball bearings of the armature. Check for the wear. Re-grease the ball bearings of the communicator end. Renew the valve of the disc and necessary. Check the gears for the tightness of the shaft. Dress the communicator. Be sure that the brush is the correct grade, properly seated with the communicator recommended intention. Makes an installation of the armature field coils. Installation value of the ground should not be less than 1 mega ohm. Check the condition of the valve seat and the necessary reface and replace the renewal seat. On the spring closure type of the valve, check the adjustment of spring tension. Renew the spring if necessary. One motor reversing type of the valve. Check the rubber stop and eye disc and replace the defect. When reassembling, apply all new gaskets after valve that has been as reassembled. Testing open and closing under the low voltage condition. Valve that should open fully to at 25 volts. And inspect the handhold cover, repair and replace if required. B. Check the valve for operation. Pressure reducing valve. Remove the valve to the car from the cleaning of the roof solvent. Disassemble the valve. Examine all the parts. Replace all the parts found in defective accordance with the respective manufacturer specification. Reassemble the valve test. Reset the manufacturer specification for proper operation. Refrigeration unit. Remove and clean all strangers. Remove the purge and nozzle and check the wear lanes of the standard plug gauge. There must be borne in mind of the uneven wear of the nozzle. The wind will reduce the efficiency of the bird's rejector. This must be considered as well as the diameter. Overall, steam traps, replacing the defective parts of the test proper operation, check the occurrence, accuracy, and the makeup of the water gauge. Repair if required. Tighten the pressure gauge of the dead tester. Test the condenser steam pressure switches. Reset if necessary. Test the thermostatic drain valve when used. Remove the valve disc if it fails to close tightly. Adjust the valve to open to 38 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Renew the checks of the purge section if necessary. The condenser recommendation: practice straighten the fins where necessary. If the fins are loose, the condenser shall be removed. In repairs, remove the condenser, fan, motor. Check the fan blades, fan housing for steam. Repaint the fan housing with a corrosion-resistant paint. Overall, the motor, applying the new brushes, proper grade with the proper tension, and lubricating the bearings. Approved lubricant. Remove all the grease seals with a ferrite resistor. Are used to check all the resistant values. The seal is cracked with the resistant valves. Is incorrect, with the resistor should be replaced. Check the armature and fans for balance. Clean the air tank and the air screen thoroughly. Check the condition for the condenser fans, billies, and renew with the necessary. If the belt's renewed, renew the complete match set. And when the fan motors are applied with the car, the fan housing seal should be set. Should be tightened. Belt tension properly adjusted. Remove the clean and the spray hold. Renew gasket when necessary. Clean and lubricate oil outlet dampers overhead, and check the operation of the damper motor renewing piston package. And if the damper should be open with a pressure of 22 pounds. Check the water supply line shaft sealed with the old water pump with the water where the flow to the value with furnace water with the shaft sealed, uncut with water pump. The pump shall be overhauled with the necessary parts renewed. When the water recovering the coils are used, the cleaning of the fine surface over the overheated unit. Check the operation of thermostatic trap. It should be open at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Move the check of the evaporator feed a valve to replace any worn parts. If the evaporator aluminum inhabitor used, the inhabitor should be renewed. Paint all the parts requiring the protection. After the system reassembled, apply the vacuum test. If the leakage exceeds 1/2 an inch per hour with the initial vacuum, the 25 inches of the leak should be located and repaired. The replace and the repair installation and piping when necessary, and test the equipment. Assemble the equipment under normal operation conditions. Alright, part 6, air cleaning equipment. The requirement and practice for the maintenance of the fresh air recirculated air filters and maintained terminals. Due to the numerous air filters used in the location, the type of the car, and the locality through the train operators to finite schedule with the changing renewing cannot be said. This must be determined at each maintenance point. All metal cleanable filters, oil type of the may be larger. The terminals equipped with automatic cleaners and oil detailed servicing instruction. Furnished manufacturer and the machine recommended practice found that they apply only to the servicing where the machines are not available, where the additives, synthetics are not used. Filters must be replaced with the condition recommended filters, but more frequently necessary recommended reconditioning procedures. Placing a cleaning tank of the heated solvent solution filter constructed with a large mess of one side should have the side down, allowed to boil for 30 minutes longer than if necessary. Remove the solution rinse thoroughly with hot water, allow to dry to the sun, and warm air dry until they are thoroughly dry. Filters with a hairborne crimps screen the media effectiveness cleaned with air. The garden hose with a pressure nozzle 30 to 40 psi is satisfactory. A stream water should be directed to the dirt side of the filter. The fully engineered energy water jet will break the dirt mass solution with the median surplus water will flush out the lost loose dirt. Hot water will be sped upon the clean operation dry filter as indicated above. Filters should be re-oiled where spraying the dipping is inapproved with the filter, or dipping is preferred with the far less than chance of doing it properly. The method is immerse the filter and completely remain the oil to be until the bubbles stop rising with the surface. Remove the dip tank, allow the filter to stand on the edge. The drain holes down for 12 to 24 hours. The filter should be drained at the temperature about 10 degrees Fahrenheit above the maximum operation temperature. 3. Oil cardboard type filters. It's recommended that this type of the filter renewed weekly more than frequently necessary. The filter is reused and should be serviced as follows. Remove the brush from the heavy substances on the coarse side with a whisk broom and blow slightly from the fine side of the operations direction the normal airflow. This process may be repeated, but the filter is considered used when the cardboard on the coarse side becomes dry. Dry type filters require cleaning after each trip. Remove, shake lightly, and blow out the low air pressure. Electrostatic type filter. The type of the filter not included in the above shall be maintained in accordance with the manufacturer recommendations. 6. Filter frames on the cars where the frames are located must maintain the good condition provided with effective sealing, preventing air from passing from the filter. Sealing should be examined carefully when even filters removed. The receptacle repairs renewals are made when the necessary metal framework that has been obtained shall be restored in proper shape. Chapter 3, Part 7, Car Record Card Format. Car record covering the 3-month period on the basis of the trip, weekly, monthly, periodic inspection, maintenance procedure, both the air conditioning, electrical apparatus on the passenger car shown on the page 373. The card size is 8 by 11 inch. The card size is 8 by 11 inch, maintained by the use of the two-fold card. The card shall be made with a suitable paper stock with a stand fold. The weight it will not separate the folds. Modifications may be made as required to suit the conditions prevailing the individual railroad. Air conditioning, remarks and defects and repairs. Your battery page. Alright, moving on to Chapter 3, Part 9, Vapor Zone Hitting. Recommended practice for inspection maintenance of the vapor zone heating system and attention for the given to the car's completion of each of the trip weekly. In addition, with regular inspection, car lighting equipment, battery condition of the battery should be determined. The ground check the equipment. The wiring grounds for the test lamp have not been more than 6 watt rating. The nominal rated voltage equipment. The relay contacts fused in the control panel. Make visual inspection for relay contacts fused the circuits. Breakers cleaning and replacing when necessary. Cleaning the control panel, blowing the compressed air with the vacuum cleaner. Check overall operation of the equipment. Turn on the heating of the control panel. Make sure that all the zones of the heating are properly thermostat. Check all the thermostat properly operation valves, including the outside of the thermostat where you use and shut off the drain valve. Make the visual inspection of the steam location of the drain port. Make sure the valves are open prior to the departing. Heating proceeds and safety control regulation. Make visual inspection, safety control regulation. Make sure regulators, emergency bypass valve when used are in normal position. Steam blow from the outer drain of the tube. The regulator indicates the defective retarder. 1671 and 1674 dictate the use of the loop of the blowing of the outer drain of the tube indicates the faulty bellows and loops retarded with the 1668 valve that is overheated with radiation blowing with the valve energized but indicated with the blower fan. If the blower continues the valve shut off, the valve belows low retarded may be fault. Steam blow the inner drain of the tube that indicates the defective regulated dirt may be lodged on the valve seat. Close the S124 shut off valve for a few minutes, then reopen the valve. If the blowing continues, the thermostatic blow is probably defective. If the steam is not given into the system, make sure that the S124 valve is open direct under the seat of the flow valve to prevent the proper operation. The free valve to insert the screwdriver through the rectangular opening in the bracket at the rear valve with the push up the plunger and hold 1 minute and then release quickly. Check reducing the valve stem pressure looping and the pressure under the fitting of the provided with the regulator. If the regulator evidently defective, should be replaced. The thermostatic controlled solenoid admission valve to check the seam leaks with the valve stem with the seats and the connections and other defects. If the coil is grounded with the valve is defective, it should be replaced. Water sealing fitting, no maintenance should be required. And retarders, check the proper operation. Thermistic bellows. Manual valves, if used, check the leaks for the around the body of the valve packing through the valve seat into the radiation. Visual check for the worn, rusted, defective parts or steam leaks. 12. Radiation visual check for the flow or radiation leaks. The physical examination check over the heat for the heat of for leaks. Blower fan, check the operation of the blower fan of the motor. Inspect the blower fan motor pressure for the communicator. Observe the condition of the pulley belts. Test where used, lubricated as required. Air filters. Inspect oil filters service necessary. Check the condition of oil filters, framing, seal, baffles. Check the fresh air intake, shutters, steam admission valves. Before leaving the after inspection, care must be taken to ensure the admission valves are in the automatic position. B1. Attention given to the monthly intervals in addition with the trip inspection. Relay contacts the control panel. Clearing the control panel below with the compressed air within the vacuum cleaner. But you can go visual inspection with switch and relay contacts with cleaning the replacing the necessary. Check all the screws and tighten the necessary blower fan. Check the bearings, the heating and the noise. Replace the bearings with the motor as required. Check the brushers and the communicators. Replace the brushers and armatures if necessary. When the belts are used, check the condition of the pulley and the belts for belt session. Solenoid steam and admission valves. Move the valve manually and several times to check the scale and the thermostat. Inspect the thermostat. Tighten the connection clean. Record the working performance of each of the workmen. Must be entered in the maintenance record card provided with the purpose of all the work performed and defects around the corrective measures taken. C1. Add attention to be given in the yearly seasonal inspection edition with the monthly inspection. Thermostat control. Check all the thermostat proper value. Include the outside thermostat where used. Lubricate the temperature selector switch, blower fan switch. Shut off the drain valve. Make sure the valve is open prior to the departure during the heat of the season. Once the year should be disassembled, cleaned, and careful to checked. Safe safe control regulator. Move the overhaul air every year over the year prior to the heating season. Cleaning, test, and tag with the day overhaul. Check the diaphragm, bellows, seal all values, rods, stems, and the freedom movement. Remove the solenoid. Test installation resistance not less than 1 mega ohm. Must stand 220 volts, 60 cycles AC for 1 minute. With the approved testing device, check the resisting coil for the C manufacturer specification proper via resistance specified voltage. Plug and receptacle must be checked and replaced if the rubber is proper hardened and vulcanized. Thermostatically controlled solenoid admission valve. Remove, disassemble, clean, and thoroughly inspect, replace, repair all defective worn parts, lubricating valves, and seal stem with a higher temperature grease. Reassemble to test the defective leaks, and then check the insulation resistance. Steam traps. Traps must be removed prior to the heating of the season, replaced with a new reconditioned trap. 6 retarders. Remove and check the thermal element of the 24-month intervals. Replace and warn the defective parts. Reassemble the test and steam the correct and operation check. 7. The main valve. Check the operating mechanism, manual, flexible, remote control at beginning of each of the heating session, lubricated with light oil overall with 24-month intervals. Overhead heating coil. Overhead steam coils must be cleaned thoroughly when the ducts are blown. Blower fan and lubricated is required. Apply insulation to the test of the motor. Insulation should not be less than 1 mega ohm. Should be stand 220 volts to cycle 6 for 1 minute. Approved the test device. Ducts. All air ducts must be cleaned, blown, and perform the heating of the season before the cooling season. Fresh air intake of the shut air up to operating mechanism must be lubricated with labels re-stenciled and necessary retarded. Recording and performance. Each workman must be entered with the maintenance card provided with this purpose. For all purposes, defects found and the corrective measures taken. Alright, Chapter 10. Chapter 3, Part 10, Fulton Siphon Heating.